And welcome to section 1. Here we're going to use our understanding of place value that we gained in module 1 to make complicated addition and subtraction tasks quite easy by breaking them down into our columns. Let's have a look at column addition and column subtraction. So I've got a number sentence here, 127 plus 489. Too big to do with our fingers, too big to do with a number line counting on, just got to do them with column addition. So we're going to break down the numbers into small, easy to digest chunks and then recombine them at the end to get our answer. Let's have a look at how we do it. First of all, we need to write our columns. Now we always start with the smallest value. So ones, then move to the left for tens, move to the left for hundreds, and then we could continue to the thousands, the 10,000s, and etc. and etc. You will need to in your booklet, but for this section we'll just stick to 100 so it's easy for me to explain to you. Then we need to set the numbers out just as they are written on the page. So 127, 100, 2 tens, 7 ones, plus 489. By breaking it down into these columns, they're all lined up, easy for us to work with. So again, we start with the lowest column, the ones column. Whenever we work with maths, a lot of confusion comes from the direction in which you work with. We read from left to right, and that's the way our brain works and the way our eyes are trained to work. With maths, I'm asking you to reverse that direction. We work in maths smallest, fewest to largest, greatest, which happens to be in numbers right to left. So it seems quite strange when you first start, but as soon as you get going, you become used to it. But you do need to remember to always start at the lowest value column. Here we're working with ones at the moment. We're not working with decimals yet. That's another section. So we're going to start with our ones column. So 7 add 9. So we've got a very simple addition sum here. 7 and 9 is 16. So I need to put the 6 down. And because I'm working in columns, 16, 110 and 6 ones, I need to write that just as I've said it, 110 and 6 ones. So I write 6 in my ones column, and then I need to put a 1 in my tens column. The problem is I haven't worked out the answer to my tens column yet. I haven't got there. So what I need to do is make a note to myself, future Steve, that whatever the answer to my tens column is, I need to add 110 to it because I've carried over, this is what it's called, carrying, I've carried over 110 that doesn't fit in my ones column. Remember, my ones column answer is 16, 110 and 6 ones. I can't write 16 in a ones column. That's not how columns work. Remember, columns only have 1 digit in them. So I have to write my 6 ones in my ones column and 110 in my tens column, which I'm going to need to remember. Now that I've written that, I can move to my tens column. 2 plus 8 is 10, but I've also got this 1 that I've carried over. I must include it. So again, I can't write 11 tens here because that's not how maths works. That's not how columns and place value work. I have 11 tens. So I need to write my 110 in my 10 column and my 10 tens in my 100 column. So again, I'm carrying across another 1. And just like I did with the tens column, I've got to remember that that 1 stands for 100 and it's got to be added to the total of whatever my 100th column answer is. So I've got 1 add 4, which is 500. 100 add 400 is 500, but I've got another 1 here, which makes it 600. So I've split my numbers into columns. Now I need to recombine it to get the answer, 616. 600s, 110, 6 ones, 616. Now let's have a look at column subtraction. It looks very similar to start with, but we're going to make one key difference. Instead of carrying, we're going to exchange. Let's have a look. So I've got my question, 672 take away 245. So again, I need to split it up into its component parts, into its place value columns. Where am I going to start? That's right, the ones column. So I've written in my columns. Now I'm going to write my numbers in. 600s, 7 tens, 2 ones, take away 2 hundreds, 4 tens, 5 ones. There we go. So we've broken it up into nice, easy to digest parts. And let's work with those place values, those columns in order. Remember, starting with the smallest, the fewest column, which in this case is our ones column. Now here we have a problem. 2 take away 5. A key point about subtraction is it has to be done in the right order. Addition can be done in any order. 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5. It doesn't matter which way around the plus sign those numbers go, they will always end up with the same answer. The same is not true for subtraction. You cannot change the order. You must recognise, take note of the order and stick to it. Here we've got 2 take away 5. To put it simply, 2 fingers take away 5 fingers. You can't do it, can you? We're stuck. Here is where our knowledge of place value comes into play. 2 take away 5 I can't do, but I know that that 2 is 2 ones and I can change that. Now remember, we cannot change the overall number. We can't change 672. However, we can play around with where those digits are in their place values, in their columns. Our understanding of place value will allow us to play around with the digits in order for us to be able to solve this problem. So I've got 2 ones, take away 5 ones. I can't do it. I need to increase my number of ones without changing the overall number. And I can do that by exchanging. So I'm going to look at the next door column. I've got 7 tens here. I can use one of those tens. I can exchange it. Exchange just means change. I'm going to change it and put it in the ones column. So I'm going to cross out the 7 and I'm going to turn it into 6 tens. I'm going to take that 1 10 and turn it into 10 ones. And I'm going to stick it in front of it. So our 10 ones that we've just exchanged, we've taken it from the tens column, remember, and our 2 ones that are already there becomes 12. 10 ones and 2 ones becomes 12. Place value, remember. We haven't altered the number. All we've done is exchanged it. So we, instead of having 600s, 7 tens and 2 ones, we've played around with place value and we've now got 600s, 6 tens and 12 ones. If you remember back from module 1, this is the same number. 672, we could say 600s, 7 tens, 2 ones, or we could say it as 600s, 6 tens and 12 ones. We're being clever with numbers. Now we have 12 ones, we can subtract, take away 5 from those 12 ones. 12 take away 5 is 7. We've done that. We've successfully completed that column, so we can move to the next one. So instead of having 7 tens take away 4 tens, because we exchanged, we took one of those tens and used it in our ones column, we now only have 6. That's where recording it comes in absolutely vital. So now we have 6 tens take away 4 tens, 6 take away 4 is 2, 6 tens take away 4 tens is 2 tens. Once that column has been successfully completed, you can move on to the hundreds column. 6 take away 2, 600s take away 200s is 400s. Put a 4 in the hundreds column and you have your answer. Recombine them into one digit. So 400s, 2 tens and 7 ones becomes 427. Now you might hit a problem when trying to exchange if there's nothing in the column that you want to exchange. So let me show you how to get over this problem that you might face. So we've got the same calculation almost. 602. So we've got nothing in our tens column. Take away 245. Very similar to our first challenge. However, we now hit a problem. So let's go 2 take away 5. Remember, we can't do it, so we're going to look to the next door column and we're going to exchange a 10 to make it 12 ones, take away 5 ones. What's our problem? Well, our problem is we haven't got a 10 to carry, to exchange. It's a 0. There are no 10s. I cannot take a 10 if there are no 10s there. So what do I do? This is where we use multiple exchanging. We can use our place value knowledge, extend it even further. So I want to borrow a 10, but I don't have any. So what am I going to do? I'm going to repeat the same procedure over and over again. I'm going to look to the hundreds column, of which there's 6. So I'm going to borrow one of those hundreds, dropping my hundreds value from 6 to 5, and I'm going to put it in my tens column. I now have 10 tens in my 10 column, more than enough than I need to exchange one of them. So my 10 tens, I need to exchange one of them. So remove one of the tens, cross out the 10, turn it into 9, because we're exchanging one of those tens, remember. We're going to turn it into 10 ones for 12. Then we can do our challenge as before. 12 ones take away 5 ones is 7 ones. Then I look to my next door column. I now have 9 tens, take away 4 tens, which is 5 tens. And looking at my hundreds column, because I exchange one of those hundreds and I've used one of those hundreds, just as I did before, to turn my tens column into 10 tens, I've got 5 hundreds take away 2 hundreds, which is 3 hundreds. Then I recombine my answer, 357. This may sound confusing to start with, but it really is just playing around with our place values. Remember, all we've done is altered how we write the number. We've not altered the total of the number. 602 can be written as 6 hundreds, no tens and 2 tens, or it can be written as 5 hundreds, 9 tens and 12 ones. We're just using our understanding of how numbers are made to play around with the original number in its columns, in its place values, to do simple subtraction tasks that allow us to calculate the answers to really large number sentences. I hope I've explained this in a way that you can understand. If you're having trouble, sit there with the booklet in front of you, look at the questions and follow through the thought processes as I've explained them to you. So long as you follow the steps that I've showed you in the video and the booklet, you should be fine. Enjoy this section and I'll see you ready for section 2.